Alright guys, Bill here back with The Witness. It is nighttime now, it's 11:30. And yeah, we're gonna continue on. Let's go. I'm planning on finishing the game tonight. I am probably gonna be using a guide for almost all of it, just because I just want to get this done, to be honest. But let's go. We're at the treehouse. After this, all we have left is the mountain. I did actually watch a speed run of The Witness, because I just came across the world record speedrun, and it was an hour, or sorry, an hour. It was 15 minutes long. I was like, how the fuck do you finish this game in 15 minutes? And it's ridiculous. It is really insane how fast you can finish the game. Okay. Yeah, let's go. It's just straight. Fuck off. But yeah, while we're doing this, might as well listen to the podcast. Well, actually, no, I'll run through what I did today. Which was not much at all, to be honest. I wanted to do a lot, but then I kind of got distracted throughout the night. I still end up doing stuff. It's just that it's not the stuff that I planned on doing tonight. Which tonight, what we would like to do is get probably around half of the BB-23 script done. I literally didn't even finish. I literally just finished the premiere. That's literally all I got done. So fuck me. But I got a lot of other stuff done now. Some stuff. I got all the prep for BB done. I got thumbnail. Got all the images I need. I downloaded all my Mass Effect Andromeda footage, and I also updated this channel. Which along the way I also download all my Disco Elysium footage, because I'm thinking I'm still going to do that Disco Elysium video. I'm not 100% locked in on it, to be honest, but I think I'm still going to do it. So I said, you know what, screw it. Let's just download all the footage. It's not even that much. But yeah, really, just, and also, updated some thumbnails and stuff, because I kind of realized that there was a discrepancy in some of my thumbnails with my reviews, and my TV show reviews in particular, where some of them say season review, some of them just say review. So I was like, fuck it, I'll change all the ones to say season review, at least all the modern ones. Yeah, again, just ways to I did a decent amount of things, but at the end of the day, it's not exactly what I planned on doing. I guess we're going here. It is insane, though, the speedrun for this game. But yeah, also, I decided just, I would have gone far, longer, but, I'm gonna have a really long day tomorrow at work, so I was like, I don't feel like it. Who cares? And also, I wanted to make sure we finished The Witness, so. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all. So
Fessy actually tried to do with Coriel here is, this is where it makes sense to go to the people who would so clearly, other than how Tori did, this is how you do it. You know who's going in, you go to them, especially when it's a strong team, like Corey and Michelle were, and ask them who they want.
Well, Corey went to Fessy, let's say that.
Yes, but...
To be clear.
Yeah, I guess that is true. But Fessy heard him out and didn't and then
for sure.
But I think that's the reason you do it, because you put yourself in that position of power, so you get a strong team to come to you and offer you a deal, and then hopefully it gets you safety, and it builds a bond, and alliance, potentially, with these rookies that eventually are going to be paired with different vets to help you further. So that is the upside to win.
I feel like the consequence of having to throw two people down is worse, is a greater consequence, is a worse consequence than the benefit of what can be gained by making a deal like this. In this situation where the rookies are in such little power, you know, it's a 50% chance they even stay anyway, right? Like, Fessy ends up earning nothing from this, pissing off Amber B and pissing off Huey.
They get to keep their partnership, though. Like, if Fessy's super happy with Esther winning, keeps that going for a little bit further.
Right. So I guess that's... And so if I'm Devin or Kyle, like, I don't really care if I win. So it makes this move even dumber for Kyle to me.
Yeah, you would think next week, or I guess not, yeah, like next week or the week after is really when you do want to be in that power where, you know, you can start making different types of moves.
But alright, this also was a little shades of Fessy and Nelson and Hall brought to me. Definitely less damaging to Devin than Fessy was to Nelson, to like go against him in an elimination. But it was the same sort of like, well, all I could think about is how I wanted to win and I didn't care about screwing you, sorry. It was you at the moment.
It might have been the same episode too. I feel like it might have been like episode 4 last season. So it was right around the same time.
Of course, Nelson the most mad on Devin's behalf for this situation.
Yes.
Fuck.
Good on Nelson.
Love the transition music to the club scene. Great. Hit me with the NSYNC. Loved it.
Yeah, nice little throwback. Very surprising to see that popped in, but good choice.
You know what's shocking? Because Lance Bass showed up on Bachelor in Paradise, and Lance Bass was on like a cameo on The Circle because his assistant was on. It is like devastating to me that there are people who don't know who NSYNC is, who like walk the earth among us.
Yeah, we're old.
Like,
Shit.
like,
we're old.
but didn't we know like New Kids on the Block? Like, I feel like I knew the Jerry Maguire, what was his name? The guy with the blue eyes.
I think most people would know who they are. I think.
No, so many people don't know who they are. It's shocking.
Like, if anything, I feel like this generation is. Oh my god, I sound so old saying that. But I feel like this generation, it's a lot easier to connect with the previous generation's like arts nowadays, just because it's so much more accessible than it was like for us when we were at this age. Because then like you could watch anything, all the shows are available, all the music is like freely streaming. Like it's so much easier to know what was right before you.
Hey, don't at me. I was thinking of Joey McIntyre. I don't want to talk about it because I just proved my own point wrong. Yeah, that's very true. On the flip side, there's so much more media to consume, right? Like, it's like, but people educate yourselves. Know who Lance Bass is. I don't want to hear about it.
Yes, he's not just from The Circle. Not just that.
We talked about Coriel and Fessy this conversation. I was really impressed with Corey here. Agreed. Good that Fessy heard him out. They want Huey and Bettina. Cool. Makes sense. Fine. Devin and
This
Josh.
is so boring.
Great conversation from them. I thought
How many are there?
With Devin that Josh is giving advice that I think Devin would have come to on his own, but good for Josh for like seeing the game.
It's insane though how many skips there are in the speed run. Where like you're literally like doing these puzzles from so fucking far away.
It's carrying over here. And Devin and Josh, I mean, I think Josh is finally getting that self-awareness that Devin's always had. Is we're not like, we could be entertaining, maybe we're sort of strategic depending upon what you're feeling about these people are, but they're not the most athletic, so they need to go against the people like each other to win this game. And good on Josh for finally, I think, recognizing that Devin's right about that and get a Devin versus Josh final. Well, what a moment that could be.
I don't mean to toot my own horn. I never do that. It's like crazy. But I think this shipping, if you ship a couple, take a drink is my favorite rule, because like Jeremiah and Amber B, does Kyle ship them? Like, I'm so interested. Like, do you ship them? I don't know.
I don't know yet. I mean, I think so. I don't really know much about Jeremiah at all. So hopefully, I mean, normally Amber B doesn't really get that much screen time either, so I don't know how much this is going to help him. But hopefully they get more screen time because we get to know him, because sure, they both seem happy in the club.
I just didn't love Jeremiah on Love Island. I didn't dislike him. I just didn't think he brought anything. Again, I think I've said, like, I don't really get what they saw in him to bring him on here, but I've been wrong before. I think in these first 4 episodes, there's not much more than we saw on Love Island. Amber, it's also part of his, like, I think I know Amber B's dating somebody else. I think she's, like, pretty public about her boyfriend on Twitter, so, you know, what else?
Quick fling.
We love a quick fling.
Yeah, go for it. Challenge House. We missed that. Look, we haven't had quick flings in the Challenge House in a little while, so definitely not going to shoot any of them down.
That's why, to borrow from Scally, Team Mess. That's why I'm totally fine with all these new young hotness people coming in and bringing us back old school a little bit. But someone who's not acting old school, again, to give a little credit to Fessy, so maybe I shouldn't have called it his worst episode ever, but that was called a bit, people. It's called a joke. No. Fessy, I think, says to Corey, I can't make this deal. I like what you're selling. I'm interested, but I can't make a purchase without talking to my partner. And doesn't just go to Esther in the way that we've seen male and female vets treat their rookie partners in past seasons. Doesn't just go and bulldoze Esther. Says, what do you think about this? And Esther says, I want to use, you're a vet, you're protected. I want to use this for me to make deals, not for you to make deals. And, Esther probably thinks it's sort of like Big T's win last season. She probably thinks she can get more than she really can out of it. But I think Fessy really hears her out and respects her, which is nice to see. Yeah, again, the bar is so low.
Yeah, but I love the way Esther's thinking. I don't know how much she actually could gain out of it, but the fact that she is thinking out of it, and not just like Ed from 2 weeks ago when he was like, I'm just gonna follow my partner and do whatever they want. No, she has a mind of her own, wants to do and make a decision that's best for her and thinking long term. So this was a great scene for her. Esther's been great. By far one of the best rookies.
We love Esther. I think Esther will definitely be back. I think probably around last week's episode, or maybe even the week before that, she sort of punched her ticket to come back.
Yep, love to see her. If she gets into elimination, knocks out an Anissa or a Tori or something like that, it really makes a name for herself. That would go a long way.
I don't get what I'm doing at this point.
Devin and Kyle make up right before deliberation. Perfect timing. Henry says, do you think the Kyle and Devin thing is going to have consequences down the line?
I don't. I feel like it's going to be squashed here. I think Kyle might be just in a bad shape just because of the house dynamics overall. This probably didn't help, but I don't think now Kyle and Devin are going to be going after each other.
I think it'll have no consequences at all. I thought the Kyle and CT thing would have more consequences over the Cam issue, and that doesn't seem to matter. So I can't imagine someone you talk to every day you consider your best friend isn't going to let this go.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't the most egregious betrayal in the history of betrayals. This didn't lead to Kyle getting voted in, didn't let Kyle getting eliminated. It's a lot easier to swallow with, the full result of this week.
Right. In the scheme of things, this really was more of a bungle, whatever.
Yeah, if anything, it worked out.
In the scheme of things, it was a dating app.
Yeah, if anything, probably for Kyle and Devin, it worked out because, it causes such more of a target on Fessy. The Big Brother stuff is kind of in shambles, and then maybe now they're able to kind of almost skate by a little bit.
So you're saying you think it was set up?
Yes, all set up. Great job. Beautiful job by Dial.
Let's talk about this deliberation where nothing was really being deliberated, but probably the most interesting deliberation we've had.
Yeah, this one comes into Michelle and Coriel. Both know they're going in. They don't really offer much of a defense, which, again, there's not really much they can offer up. But by far the most interesting part was finally the voting having an impact on the season by Huey just openly saying, yeah, I voted for us, and Ashley not taking that too kindly.
It's interesting that that's where you start. Because I'm, to me, the Huey-Ashley of it all, that revelation was really Ashley just looking for a reason to part ways with Huey. That was, if that were Ashley and Kells, Ashley's not going around being like, well, now I can't trust Huey because he burned his vote inconsequentially, and now I'm willing to throw him in. To me, that was, bullshit.
I just love that we got something out of the voting for the first time, that something came up about it. And, amazingly, in the aftermath, it was revealed, Huey voted for them again. He did it again.
Yeah, that was great.
It was incredible.
Yeah, I thought the Michelle and Coriel strategy here was confusing to me because they start the speech saying, we're not fighting this, we're going in. And then they use all of this airtime to directly attack Huey and Bettina/Priscilla, sort of indirectly, sort of directly. And so what is the game plan here? First of all, I want to talk about what you think of their argument. And then I want to talk about why they're making it to the house when they're basically only asking Fessy and Esther to make this decision.
I think it kind of all ties together. I think what they wanted to, maybe this is me giving them too much credit, but I think what they wanted to do was to turn the house on them to the point where it would make it an easy vote for Fessy and Esther to vote them in. So there wouldn't be a lot of people in the house being upset that, oh, why would you go after them? They're great, blah, 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 blah. If you already paint them as like these, floaters, these weak people you don't want on your team, that the house would then be like, oh, great, Fessy and Esther voted them in, tried to get them out, like, good on them for doing that. So I maybe that's giving them too much credit, but I think that would be what the logic would be.
Future challenge rookies. It will never matter to anyone voting, rookie or veteran, what is fair, who has, quote, earned their stripes. I'm so tired of rookies saying this phrase. Like, the ambulance that was in the background before with you, Brian, is coming to take away the phrase, earn their stripes. I'm so tired of it. It's like, you watch one clip of, like, the best of Bananas, and suddenly you're bringing this out. That's not an attack on Michelle. That's literally an attack on every single person who said that in the last 5 seasons. The pitch is, the Corey pitch was the right pitch, and you can only make that pitch to Fessy and Esther, which is, if you scratch my back, I will scratch yours, and we are competitors, we will come back, and we will protect you. Great pitch. That's something that you could do for Fessy and Esther. To say to the house, you want to go against the weak players? No, let us go against the weak players so that you can later take out the strong people. I thought Ashley poked the perfect hole in their argument, which is, you're making the best point that they made, Brian, but I think it got muddied in a lot of other stuff, which is, these could be your partners. Do you want Huey and Bettina as your partner? But instead, they were like, let's beat the best, let's go against the best, and Ashley points out, no, I got 2 L's last season. I want to go against the weak people. Why do you get to go against the weak people? I think their argument got lost, and they should have kept it to Fessy and Esther. Yes, your point is good that the house is on board, but who's not on board with putting in Bettina, Priscilla, or or Huey? Who cares?
Right. No, absolutely. And I totally get they're in your stripes like that. No one cares. It has never swayed anyone. We've seen it time and time again. The wanting to go up against the best doesn't move the needle.
So this is just the okay.
That
This is
moves the
back
needle
here.
is yes. Do you want to have this person as your partner? Do you like if Huey goes into Lynch and win, and all of a sudden they're your partner? That's a bad thing. We should want to take them out. Like, you don't want them as your partner. All these other things. Like, that's the only thing we've seen sway people in the past. Not, let's do the honorable thing and go against. Like, that's very much challenged, like 2007 type stuff. So that's not flying right now.
But it's also even a shitty argument because, okay, if you're so convinced that Bettina and Huey, let's say, are weak, they'd have to go into the elimination and win, or your partner would have to choose to not come back to you. Is Fessy worried about that? Absolutely not. He's not worried that Bettina's going to, crush winning, or that Esther's going to win and abandon him. So it's just such a horrible case. I thought it was a waste of time and made enemies out of people for no reason because they directly had to attack people for, again, no benefit. And then Huey rolls over, which is the best thing to happen to Michelle and Coriel, that Huey basically just says, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Let that speak for its GD self to Fessy and to Esther, if that's going to work. Corey instead is is that you pleading your case? Why push him to plead his case? Let him not argue with you.
So we don't have enough time.
Yeah, Corey was very... He was trying to puff his chest against Huey. I think he saw Huey, like how CT, he underestimated him. This comes across very strongly in the aftermath, but he thought he was an easy person to beat. He thought he can, puff his chest out and, knock down the smaller guy and come across looking much stronger. And it obviously bit him in the butt big time come the elimination, but I think that's he thought he had an easy win going against Huey.
And so I think my end result here, the end of my huffing and puffing, is that Michelle and Coriel way overplayed this, but in their defense, I think their backs were really against the wall the entire time they've been in the house, and they were so rehearsed that it was almost like they weren't going with what was actually naturally flowing. They were doing their speeches. So Coriel was just on the offense, without feeling the room, like, do I need to be on the offense with him? He's kind of sinking his own ship, Huey. Yeah, and at the same time, I think they both saw this as the turning point in our game. We go in one more time, we pick new partners, and we are off to the races. And we've made inroads with Fessy and Esther, and we're in the Big Brother Alliance, and we're going to pick people strategically. So I can relate to their desperation here, but it was an overplay.
Yeah, I mean, they probably should have just did what they said they were going to do. They weren't going to offer anything up. They're going to say they're going in and wish us the best of luck, and then go from there.
Wait, let's go over there.
I'm exhausted now.
Anything else before the elimination?
The one thing that I loved is Ashley goes over to Huey goes over to talk to Ashley while Ashley's cutting bait with him, with Nany and Michelle.
We need to get to the orange
Nany
one.
immediately gets up and leaves.
Oh, fuck, this
Michelle
is not.
adjusts and settles in. Like, I love that she did not leave, because it's, like, critical to her that Ashley's on board with getting Huey out. So she is going to sit there and not let them, make amends. I loved that from Michelle.
Yeah, Nany should have stayed, because that's his new partner. That's her new partner, so should have got to know him a little bit better.
But no, we can take it to the lair.
So we get down there. Huey, easy vote in. And then we get to the girl vote. Start off with Fessy, and he's going on this speech about how, I don't know if I can trust this person, I feel like they might be coming after me, and as he's going, Josh is, no, don't do it, and then Fessy tries to pull the trigger and vote in Amber, as Amber and then Josh also try to defend the Big Brother Alliance.
Yeah, we have a ton of questions about this. So let's start with Caitlin Clancy, who said, do you think the Josh/Fessy fight was performative?
Oh, it's
performative,
this one, isn't it?
like for TV, or performative, like that they didn't believe what they were saying? Because I always believe Josh hyped things up for TV, but I do believe him that he was trying to fight this vote.
My assumption is this was sort of like a la Gus and Josh. Like, they don't actually care. They're both trying to get screen time. But I believed Josh here, and I agreed with him. I think it was so genuinely frustrating to watch your closest ally make such a stupid, unnecessary move that hurts you. And ultimately hurts him, and as best is neutral. Like, it was a crazy move, and I would have that same reaction. Julia says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm Team Josh. Also, TJ kind of irritated me when he was acting like the yelling was below the challenge. Like, this is what we want. But what did you guys think of Josh standing up for Amber?
So first on the TJ thing, I will absolutely not accept that. I thought that was hysterical. Pulls out his phone and then steals my catchphrase, telling them all to shut up. TJ was out here like... I have another one too. This is what I did today. I saw that at 3:30 and was like, oh my god, TJ's out here like Brian. But this is TJ. Like, this is on brand for TJ. Anytime he's out there for elimination vote or deliberation or anything of the sort, and people start yelling at each other, he's like, no, when I'm not here. Do this when I'm not here. He doesn't want to be involved in this. He wants to show up for his few minutes, do what he has to do, and get out of there. He doesn't want to be involved in the drama. So no, I won't have that here.
Okay. But you have to be. Sorry, you signed up for it. You're the host of the challenge. I liked... If he shut it down immediately, I would be with you, Julia. But he let it go on as long as it needed to go on, and then did his shtick. So, like, him pulling out the phone is funny, good shtick.
Yep.
And then him ultimately giving them the Sunny shut up is great. And I think we did get to see the fight play out as long as it needed to. So, if he was like, do this when I'm not here, Josh, get back in line, and didn't let him go off, then I'd be like, you're on the wrong show.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. It probably obviously went on for much longer than like the 30 seconds a minute it was on TV. So if it's going on for 10, 15 minutes, they have to get to elimination. It's, you get to it.
Also, Fessy out here, like, you can't save everybody, was so frustrating to me. Like, maybe Josh has this list of, you can't say Nany, you can't say Casey, you can't say Devin, you can't say whatever. Like, maybe he's got this long list. I could see Josh saying that to Fessy, but, like, there's no need to be saying Amber. So the issue is not that Josh is trying to protect too many people. The issue is that Josh is trying to tell you the right move.
So where does Josh go from here? Because it seemed like he's drew the line in the sand.
Straight to hell. No, no.
Yeah. Oh boy.
No, not like that. In the way I see him there, I didn't mean it like that at all.
It seems like he is obviously siding with Amber B. So is he now against Fessy? Are they targeting each other? If Josh wins, like, is he going after him? Like, where does he land here? Because if this lands with him firmly against Fessy, like, this was disastrous, I feel like, for him.
Brian, as you well know, but certainly not as well as some other people in my life.
Oh, let's go to the other one.
To know me, to be friends with me, is to put up with an outburst from time to time. So I have to imagine the same is true about being friends with Josh. So I think this goes back to completely normal. That they have a conversation next week, and Josh is like,
wait, are there any other ones I
like,
need to go
look at what
back?
happened, because he is also he ends up on the right side of history, where Amber B wins, they get ripped up, and now he's like really got a target from Amber B on his back, Fessy. So I think Fessy and Josh are going to just squash it as like, we agreed to disagree. I took the shot. I was in power. Well, I was getting mad because I ended up being right. Okay, and they can just kind of move forward.
If it comes out like that, I would take back my stance of this last couple of minutes being disastrous for him. But if it comes out where he now has to pick a side and can't really have Fessy as, you know, in his corner, and I would say this was very bad, and very because of his openly fighting it. Like, if you do it on the side, one-on-one, back at the house, it's one thing, but in front of the house doing it at the elimination, like, you really, like, it's hard to come back from it. So if Josh can come back from it with Fessy, then, you know, good on him.
Again, as someone who's prone to an outburst or two, it's shocking to me that you think that that's even
There we
possible.
go.
I was like, no, they'd be fine. Like, I didn't even think to ask you if you thought this would have lasting impact, because I thought this is like sort of how they communicate.
I guess I haven't had the outburst from you against me in a while, so I kind of forget, you know.
I don't think I've ever had an outburst on you.
There we go, we did it.
But you never know.
But you've heard me express feelings towards other people.
That's the last
Is what
one.
I was referring to. No, I mean, I'm not on reality television, but it'll be interesting. I heard that little Yosef. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, so Amber B voted in with Huey to play down to the wire.
I'm just still so shocked by
It was
this.
30 minutes. That took way longer than it should have.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I agree with Michelle where she was like, we wanted something physical. Like, this is the name of the game, but it is sort of frustrating when, at this point, I was sort of rooting for Coriel and Michelle to make a comeback.
Same.
I've sort of grown to like them. I'm fine with Amber B and Huey staying. I think it's going to be interesting next week as a result.
We
But
do have the return.
it kind of feels like Kells again, where it's like, okay, we have a stronger team and they're going to go home on a puzzle.
Yeah, for the game's sake, Coriel and Michelle winning, I think, would have been far better. But Amber B coming back now also adds intrigue. But just in terms of how things are going to play out next week, just because of how now there's obviously a clear rookie team, it makes things pretty clear-cut again for next week, which is a bummer. But having Amber B back in the house to at least cause that level of chaos is a little bit of a plus to lose Michelle and Coriel.
Where's my trophy, by the way, for saying that has to be why Devin kept getting picked? Pulled that out of my bum.
Oh, because he just kept asking to be picked?
No, last
because,
week
you
I was
wanted
like,
to
do you
have-
think it's to secure a rookie team? And this week they explain, like, we're all saying pick Devin because then we get a rookie team.
Well, I think that's more just for this week. Like, I think
There's
the other
no
2 weeks it
way.
worked out, but specifically
No.
for this one, it was very important to do it just because how few rookies there are left.
But that was the same as last week. Or 2 weeks ago, whatever, not when Berna picked, for the week before.
I think there was more, you could have picked more people and it still would have resulted. Obviously you don't have to pick Devin, but...
No, I'm not saying that Devin would be the only pick. No, any pick, picking any veteran who is paired with a rookie would do it, but I think I'm willing to, I suggested it last week, I'm willing to say that it was validated this week. I know it's not 100%, you could disagree, but I think that's where Devin's head was at. It's not like pick me, because he wasn't raising his hand for great partners. It was
Alright,
like,
so we'll end
pick
when we
me,
get there, and
because
then
then
we'll
I am protecting the
figure
Svedved
out.
Alliance, and that's how Devin's mind works.
The only
And
thing
3 weeks late, that's how my mind works.
they gave Josh the credit. Like, it seemed like Josh, in the moment, like, he was the one pointing at Devin, right? So
They
he
all
was the
were
one
like Corey,
thinking,
and they were all like, pick Devin.
Yeah, and then, but I mean, look, for the show purposes, they gave Josh the confessional of we wanted him to pick Josh, so we have a rookie team next week to clearly go in. So they, at least for the show's sake, they keep propping up Josh. They give him the props.
Yeah.
That was a lot of props.
I'm propping myself up to give myself the props. I don't really care who the show is giving props to. Yeah, so I guess a lot of interesting things even happened within the challenge. Normally it was sort of yada, 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 the elimination. But Huey starts a fight with Coriel during the challenge. Celeb alert, the RHAP out of context, I guess Twitter, wrote in using our form, thank you very much, is Huey fighting in the elimination the best thing to happen on this season?
Wait, did they use the name RHAB out of context?
Yes.
Oh, that's incredible. I was wondering if they added themselves.
No. I would protect you.
Wait, so was this the most incredible moment that happened during elimination?
This season, like, do you like Huey fighting during the elimination?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's very fun to have an open fight during the elimination. You don't really get that a lot just based off the structure of some of these eliminations, but it's very funny just to see a full-on argument. I wish they weren't handcuffed to the thing. I feel like they would have just started getting in each other's faces and taking it up a notch. It would have been very funny. But yeah, that's pretty rare to see.
It's very on brand for Huey, and you've mentioned this before, but it's like, Huey pops off all the time. It's like we saw him in the first deliberation when Asha was like, say nothing, and Huey gets involved, and she's like, say nothing. Like, Huey kind of needs to be focused. Like, he'll just pop off and like left and right and keep his eyes off the prize. Like, you're in an elimination, you're winning, and they end up winning by a lot, but like, not enough to feel comfortable to just pause and yell at the other side.
Yeah, not only yell, but like, I'd be like, hey, we got through the same thing. You suck. Just you can get through that. Like he wasn't showboating, but it felt like him, like high stepping along the way. Like, oh look, I got through it. You can.
Entrance, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then Huey drops the key. Like, again, he's just not focused at all. Thank God Amber. They would have lost if Amber, at least from what they made it seem like, if Amber did not notice that Huey dropped the key.
Right. Especially like where it seemed like he dropped it pretty close to the end. So I don't know if they would have had to go back even that far anyway. But yeah, good on Amber to kind of point that out. It was really interesting to see how much Corey and Michelle were freaking out with how much they were stuck. I almost thought for a moment they were about to like pause the challenge and be like, "Do we actually screw up? Like, was there a production issue with the elimination?"
All right.
Yeah, not a great look for them. Like, I can get if it seemed like they were stuck. It's frustrating, but like I was sort of like.